بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Indeed, all praises due to Allah, and the peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. The chapter that we have arrived to in the sight of the Siyam was what are the things that would break the fast. We said the things that bring the fast are to be divided into two categories. One category which is something you have no choice, that it will break your fast, and that is for the women, the menses and the postnatal. The second one is the five or the invalidators which are in your hand or within your choice. There are five to be. Number one, food. Two is the drink. The third one is whatever is equivalent to the food and the drink, which is the drip, and that is not mentioned in your book. And the fourth one is the deliberate vomit. The fifth one is the intercourse. Those are the five ones, and we talked about them in general, and I would like just to make a recap before we go to those detailed specifications of how these breakers would break. There are two invalidators which are controversial: hijama and second one, ejaculation. The hijama, we don't consider it to be a fast breaker because it was an invalidator or breaker at the beginning. Then the Prophet ﷺ, he gave a concession. According to Abu Sa'id al-Khudri and according to Abdullah ibn Abbas, the Prophet ﷺ gave the concession to make hijama. That is, while he was fasting. Even himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made hijama while he was fasting. And the hijama is cupping. It's something which is a prophetical medicine that the Muslims actually not paying attention to it properly. It cures from the pains like back aches or sciaticas and other issues as well. So the prophetical medicine, something needs to be looked at properly, and is being actually, as I said, forsaken by lots of Muslims, and they're going to the medicine, which is no harm, but I'm just saying prophetical medicine, there's lots of things there to be invested in. Prophet ﷺ, he said, after al-hajim wal-mahjum. That is a hadith which you can find, the scholars, they said that it will break the fast to make hijama. Hadith which says that the person who makes hijama and the person who has hijama done upon him, both have broken the fast. We understand that the person who's done hijama is a person who had the breaking of the fast, but the person who makes the hijama himself, how does it take place? Why is that person who makes hijama breaks his fast? Basically, the one who does the hijama, and the hijama, as I said, is cupping. The person would look at the places like in the back, or in the forehead, or on the head, or on certain areas where we call it the drainage system, to take out the blood which is dioxide, the blood which is not good for the body. Then the hajjam, the person makes hijama, put the cups on those areas when he starts sucking, and sucking now with an air gun. Before it was they put a piece of tissue or something that would make fire, they would put the cup on it, and that fire needs oxygen, so it will start sucking the oxygen, and that's why it will take out the skin up, or popping out the skin. Then after that, he leaves it for about 5 minutes or so, and then he starts after that taking the cup, and then he starts cutting with little cuts, and then he puts the cup back again, and with the air gun or again with the fire, and then that skin will pop up again, pop out as well, and then it will suck the blood. That blood is clotted blood and it looks like the liver, and that is the blood that is causing the pain. And that's as soon as you take that blood, subhanallah, you'll feel sort of relaxation, you'll feel the effect of such cupping. Prophet ﷺ, he has given us even the best of days to make the cupping. For example, make cupping on al-Ithnain and make cupping on al-Khamis. But do not seek the day of Jum'ah nor the day of As-Sabt. So al-Ithnain wal-Khamis is the best days. And also to avoid the day of Thulatha, because the disease came to Ayyub alayhi salam on that day. And the Prophet ﷺ even said that the best of the days are in the lunar months, which synchronizes with the 17th and the 19th and the 21st. Those days for hijama. When the person does hijama, according to the hadith, then he's broken the fast. So what about the person who does the hijama? What's that got to do with it? The hijama was a primitive way at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and it was done by like a, called in Arabic, al-qarn, horn. It's tight from the mouthpiece, a bit big from the other end. The person who does the hijama will start sucking the blood through that cone-shaped horn. Cone-shaped horn. And will start sucking the blood, and because of that, he's vulnerable to take the blood inside. That's why his fast will be broken. But as I said, this is at the beginning, because the Prophet ﷺ later on, he said that is no problem, because the companions made hijama while they were fasting. The Prophet himself ﷺ made hijama, and the hadith is it was prohibited and then became concession. But is it recommended or is it not to do it while you're fasting? Well, when we do the hijama, normally it is the case, we ask the person to be on fast the night before. So the hijama, we call it al-riq. That means before you break your fast. But that is the night before, and then you make the hijama, not on the food. But because you're going to be fasting the whole day, the hajjam will always ask you, as soon as he makes the hijama, to take some nutrition, things like the drink of juice, to bring your consciousness back, because some of the people lose consciousness if they're weak. And that is why it is disliked to make hijama if it is not needed while you're fasting, because, as I said, it might push you to break your fast, because you lose quantity of blood, and that would cause some people to get unconscious, dizzy, they just fall out. So the hijama, it does not break the fast. The other one which is controversial is the ejaculation. In ejaculation, we said that the intercourse with ejaculation or without ejaculation is a fast breaker. Did we talk about it in detail last time? Yes? About the jima, yes? Or the intercourse. But the ejaculation itself, we don't have a proof. Regardless of how many scholars they said that it will break the fast, because none of them have made the kafara al-ghaliza, which is freeing a slave or fasting 60 days or feeding 60 poor people, onto the ejaculation. And we know that the person who is making the intercourse on the day of Ramadan, while fasting is obligatory upon him, they have to pay the heavy penalty. So why is it ejaculation that does not have that sort of kafar? They argue, well, it's not as strong, you could say, mukhalafa, strong, you could say, breaking the law than the intercourse. The intercourse is more, that's why it deserves the kafar al-ghaliza. We say, well, the same argument here. So if it is not the same, why are you making it breaking the fast? We are saying the same argument. It does not, it is not equalizing the intercourse. Just like it did not entail upon him the kafar al-ghaliza, which is the heavy penalty, we say it is the same thing, because it's not the same, she does not break the fast. That's when we talk about it logically. But when we talk about it from the hadith side, we find that some of the companions used to kiss their wives, embrace their wives, and they used to make ejaculation. So ejaculation comes out. None of them had broken the fast. And that is why when Aisha, she was asked, what is the person allowed to do with his wife, what is halal for him while he's fasting? She said, everything except for intercourse. And that sums it up. I don't need to argue. Everything except for intercourse. Everything. So if even the husband or the person, he had deliberately ejaculated by foreplay with his wife, no problem. Because it's only the jima', the intercourse, which is haram, which is a sin. And we said, when you make the intercourse, 4 things will be implemented upon you if you do it in the month of Ramadan, and fasting is obligatory upon you. Number 1, you'll be invalidating the day. Number 2, you'll be sinned. Number 3, you have to fast a day instead of that day. And number 4, the heavy penalty. Slave, you can't have a slave to free. 60 days you fast, if you haven't got the power to do that. And the last one, which is feeding 64 people. So, and there's a 5th one as well, controversial, that they should stop eating for the rest of the day. So that they're going to cause, let's say, in the afternoon, then they have to stop eating until the evening. We don't have a proof for that. But those 4 we agree upon, and we say the ejaculation is nothing to do with intercourse. Aisha, she says, everything except for intercourse. And the Prophet ﷺ, he used to kiss while he was fasting. Prophet ﷺ, he used to embrace mubashara while he was fasting. Mubashara is everything except for the intercourse. We have also Aisha radiallahu anha wa ardah. She saw her brother married to a woman, and she said to him, why don't you kiss her? He said, well, I'm fasting. She said, well, so what? And he was young and she was young. Why don't you kiss her? Also, the Prophet of Allah, when she said that he used to kiss while he was fasting, it must be you. And Aisha, she was young. She was a teenager. When the Prophet ﷺ died, he was only 18 years old. She was a teenager. So her lust was powerful. So Abdullah ibn Abbas, when he was asked from a man, he said, Ibn Abbas, Ya abi anta wa ummi, sacrifice my father and my mother for you. I have got married during this Ramadan. Can I kiss her? He said, do you control yourself? He said, yes. Do you control yourself from what? From the lust or from the intercourse? Well, from the lust, there's no such thing as switch off, on, lust off. There's no such thing. The kiss is a kiss. Yes, it could be with maximum lust, less lust, but there is no such thing, no lust. You will not kiss them. So, yes, you control yourself then from the intercourse. Go ahead. Can I? He's asking now more. Is it for me permissible to make mubashara? Mubashara means skin to the skin, but no intercourse. Do you control yourself? He said, yes. Go ahead, bash it. Then he asked, the last question. But my father and my mother, it's like he's begging him to say yes. Is it permissible for me to put my hand on her private part? You hold yourself? Yes. Go ahead. Idrib in Arabic. So there is no problem about the person in Ramadan to do everything except that is the intercourse. But Prophet ﷺ also at the same time, when a man approached him and he was old, he said, can I kiss when I'm fasting, Messenger of Allah? He said, yes. Then after a while, another person came and he was young. He said, can I kiss, Messenger of Allah? He said, no. Companions who are clever enough, he said, Messenger of Allah, same question, different answer. So the Prophet ﷺ said, as to the old man, he's more likely to control himself not to meet the intercourse. As for the young man, he is very unlikely to control his lust to make the intercourse. I'm asking anybody who will tell me now. The no to that young man, is it advisory or is it a command? You cannot kiss. I'm asking. Is it advisory? Advisory, of course. It's not a command to go not to kiss. Because the Prophet used to kiss. He is advising him not to kiss. Because the person, if he kisses, he goes to the more than the kiss and then end up with the intercourse. So here, this hadith talked about old man and young man. But this is the general, that the young man is always having his lust very powerful and is easily can be aroused, whereas the old man is not. But sometimes you'll find an old man, mashallah, his lust is very strong. And a young man is cold. So it is not a scale that you could even imagine upon it. You're an old, okay, kiss. Oh, young, you can't kiss. No. But this is general, because as I said, there's young, old people, mashallah, he wants another 3 wives beside his wife. He's powerful. So when Salam ibn Sakhr al-Riyadi, I'm trying to work out how old he was when he's saying this. Salam ibn Sakhr al-Riyadi is from the tribe of Bani Zuhayb. Salam ibn Sakhr al-Riyadi, his lust is so powerful. Now, he must have heard that what sort of punishment the person would get if he intercourses while he's fasting in the month of Ramadan. To free a slave, or if he can't, or she can't, and fast 60 days, it's too much for him. And then after that, if he can't feed 60 poor people, he's poor himself. He said, I lack intercourse, his wife. So he said, during the day of Ramadan, okay, I could hold, but during the night, I'm allowed to intercourse, but I was scared that I will be inside and the Fajr will come and I'm still inside. So I'm scared now. I'm going to be having the heavy penalty again. So he made dhihar. What is dhihar? He said, you are like the back of my mother. Meaning, you are like my mother. I cannot put you in marital relations. You are like the back of my mother for the whole of Ramadan. So he's not now allowed to do it while he's fasting. He's not allowed to do it while he's what? Not fasting during the night. So in both times now it's prohibited. Totally. But he doesn't know what is the punishment of such an oath. You are like the back of my mother for the month of Ramadan. He says one night, during the month of Ramadan, something exposed, something had appeared to me from my wife, whatever it is. He couldn't control himself. God, he said, I jumped. I couldn't really control myself. So now, even it's halal, the month of Ramadan, because of that dhihar of his, the oath of his, haram. So when he did it, he realized his mistake. But he doesn't know the punishment. He went to the Prophet ﷺ. Before he went to the Prophet of Allah, he went to his own tribe, Banu Zuhayb. He told them what happened. Come with me to the Prophet. No way. There will be some verses coming from Allah Azza wa Jalla regarding our family. And then the people would say, look, these verses for Banu Zuhayb. Because that man had made an intercourse with his wife. We're not going to go with you. It's shame. Go on your own. We leave you with everything, with whatever you have done to the Prophet. Go you and your own self. So he was not really dealt with properly, and he didn't feel being supported. He went to the Prophet ﷺ. And it looks like the Prophet of Allah was being told, Messenger of Allah, he said, I've done this. He said, is it you? Yes, Messenger. Is it you? Yes, Messenger. Is it you? 3 times. Let the rule, let the judgment, let the verdict of the Almighty take place upon me. I am surrendering. What is going to be? So he said, do you find, he didn't say free slave. He said, do you find a slave to free? Look at the Prophet ﷺ, he's asking him, do you find a slave to free? He said, this morning I woke up, I only own myself. So he's the slave of myself. He's with us. I own myself, nothing else. So he said, okay. fast 60 days. Messenger of Allah, I couldn't control myself for 30 days. How can I control myself for 60 days? Maybe from his wife. He said, then okay, feed 60 poor people. He said, Messenger of Allah, by Allah, I left my family without supper. SubhanAllah. Now, he has no capability to do any of those category of penalties. Nothing. What are you going to tell him? Run 5 rounds with it? Nothing. Make push-ups? He's not capable. Khalas. Not only that, he said to him, okay, go to Banu Zurayq, his own family, his own tribe. Ask them for the zakat and give it to your family. He went to his tribe, the one we went to them first. And he's now talking to them as like taking sort of his revenge. I went to you the first time and I found with you no mercy. You were rough and tough. And I went to the Prophet of Allah, he was merciful and spacious. And he commanded me to take your zakat. So they've been penalized. Give me your zakat. He took the zakat of theirs and he gave it to his own family. Our Shaykh al-Albani used to say, عملها وأكلها. In Arabic it sounds very funny, but if you know in Arabic, عملها وأكلها. He done it, he did it, and yet he had taken the reward. Do you understand? He did it, instead of being penalized, he got more food for his family. عملها وأكلها. Right. So we have no doubt to say that the intercourse, it will break the day, but ejaculation, very controversial, and we don't have a proof. To say the ejaculation is to be a fast breaker. I'm not going to go through the proofs that the other side brings, because only 2 proofs, and they are not direct proofs. Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah mentions them. But if you want to take them as question and answers, I will be dealing with them. But if I want to talk about that topic in itself, okay, it's going to be a big topic, it's going to be a session in itself. Because now we're going to go from the ejaculation to the masturbation. Halal, haram, breaks the fast or not break the fast. Now first of all, masturbation is like the ejaculation in terms of breaking the fast. It does not. Stand up. Sit down. Can I ask for the boys to ask them to come forward with their chairs, please, as well? How many times I've been telling them? Come here. Don't sit at the back. No. You have a mile away from the body. Come. It does not break the fast according to what we have said. Ejaculation, whether the ejaculation is the halal way or the ejaculation the haram way. As long as there is no intercourse, it does not break the fast. But we did not deal with, is it halal or haram to do ejaculation? As I said, if masturbation with the wife, halal with the consensus of all scholars. But if the person did that himself, regardless of the way he had done it, now that is an issue that we should say it is haram. And the correct opinion, it is haram. Regardless of whom you're going to be giving me as a proof, Imam Shawkani, Imam whatever, it is haram. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, فَمَنِ ابْتَغَى وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ. Allah will give you halal, your wife, or the slaves from the women. Those are halal. وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ غَيْرُ مَلُومِينَ فَمَنِ ابْتَغَى وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ. Those verses in Surah Al-Ma'arij, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the people or the Muslims who are guarding their private parts, except regarding their spouses, the wives, or وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُم, the one which is the slave. He who seeks other than that, then he had transgressed. عَدُو. And this is haram, but we cannot say it's a major sin. It's from the sins, but it's not a major sin. And halal in one way, and that is a person not married. He can't get married socially, financially. When a person is about to fornicate and he tried the prophetical medicine, which is fasting, because fasting is what? Shield. As soon as you fast, as I said and I explained before, subhanAllah, that takes away lots of things from your body, which is the reason behind pushing that lust up. So the person, when he fasts, he is unlikely to commit zina. But let's say this fast did not work. This person still, wants to go ahead with the fornication. And in that case, and in that case only, that masturbation becomes allowed. But we not say for recommended. It's allowed. But other than that, a person should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for anything like this. For verily it's a dirty, evil act, and it will make the person start to search for anything that would satisfy his lust. After we talked about those invalidators, whether the ones who are agreed upon or the ones who are controversial, we're going to talk about the conditions for those invalidators. For verily, if those conditions are not there, if one of them is not there, then that breaker will not be a breaker. The 5 ones which are under your choice, again, food and drink, and they're similar, or the likes of the food and the drink, which is the drip, and the deliberate vomit, and the intercourse. Those are the 5. As for the postnatal, or for the menses, we said they are not under your choice. As soon as the woman, she sees her blood, just before maybe sunset, her day will be invalidated. And even if her blood did not stop until after dawn, she cannot fast that day. Is that understandable? But we talked about the 5 ones. Those 5 ones, they have to fulfill 4 conditions. Those conditions are not there, then your invalidators will not be an invalidator. Condition number 1, knowledge. Condition number 2, remembrance. Condition number 3, consent. Condition number 4, deliverance. Condition number 1, knowledge. The opposite of the knowledge is ignorance. This knowledge, the knowledge of the rule and the knowledge of the time. The knowledge of the rule, that means you know what you are taking is, or you're doing is a breaker. So if we talk about, let's say, the food and the drink. A person being chewing a piece of paper and he swallowed it. Brother, you fasted. What's a piece of paper? Well, it breaks the fast, because whether it's food beneficial or not beneficial, we said the last time, yes, it breaks the fast. I didn't know. Does it break the fast? No, because he didn't have the what? Knowledge. This person is eating dal. You know dal? Lentil. All the people know. Lentil, adas. Brother, it breaks the fast. Oh, I didn't know. How am I going to say? What do you mean you didn't know? Which planet did you come from? On the river. Oh, the river maybe. Oh, he thinks maybe fasting is only for meat, not from the dal. Then we say, it doesn't break the fast. Stop. It will not break his fast. Do you understand me? So it depends upon his knowledge. Drink. He's drinking, let's say, petrol before he dies. Petrol. By the way, brother, it breaks your fast. Brother, it's not water. No problem. No, brother. Whether it's petrol, diesel, whether it's poison, goes water. Whether it's Zamzam, no Zamzam, it will break the fast. Oh, you didn't know that. It will not break the fast. Let's go to as well, the drip. had the choice to have a drip or not. He put the drip, he didn't know it breaks the fast. It does not break the fast. But somebody's on the drip. He's got a concession. He's ill. He doesn't have to fast. Because you are in a situation where you need the food. You need to fast. But I'm just saying, he didn't know, it will not break the fast. We tell him, no, it will break the fast. If you take it with his consent, then his fast is broken. The same thing with the intercourse. If he didn't know that the intercourse breaks the fast, it will not break the fast. The knowledge of the time. Person had eaten, drank, he had intercourse, believing still the Fajr is not on, or believing the sunset had taken place. Does it break the fast? No, because he didn't know the time. What is the proof of all of that? The proof of this, first of all, we have clear-cut hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, where this hadith talks about an ayah, which is the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ. Eat and drink until you distinguish the white thread from the black thread. This was the ayah was revealed like this. The word min al-fajr was not added yet. So the companions, at the beginning, some of them used to take a string, white, and a black string, put it on their foot, started eating it right. When they distinguished between the white and the black, they stopped. When they told the Prophet ﷺ, Allah will reveal the word min al-fajr. So the ayah would come, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. From the dawn. So it's not black thread and white thread, it's the whiteness of the day and the darkness of the night. Not white thread, black thread. And Allah is saying the khayt. Khayt means like little light. Khayt. So we understand now that the knowledge of the time, the knowledge of the rule, also the knowledge of the rule, Ali ibn Hatim, later on he embraced Islam, he read this ayah, so he bought two tethers, camel tethers, you know. One is black and one is white. Put it in his pillow. So he started eating during the night, and he takes out the black tether from the white tether, he can't distinguish it, put it back in his pillow. Can't keep eating until he could see it. Of course when he saw it, it was really much daylight. Well after the Fajr. He came to the Prophet, the Prophet smiled. He said, Inna wisadaka la'arid. It must be the pillow is really big. Your pillow must be big. It is not the black thread, white thread. It is the darkness of the night and the whiteness of the Fajr, the dawn. Because he didn't know, none of them had been asked to repeat that day. Because they didn't know the knowledge. Abu Talha al-Ansari, he was seen during the day when it was hail, stone. You know the hail? Ice cubes. He started taking them, licking them while he's fasting. Companions said, how are you doing? Breaks the fast. No, it's barakah. Blessings from Allah. It does not break the fast. Did he break the fast? No, he didn't know. He says, barakah, mashallah, barakah. So he didn't know that the ice made of water, the water was... So he tried to go quench his thirst. He didn't know. So this is the knowledge of the rule. Knowledge of the time, Asma, she said, أفطرنا على عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في يوم غيم. At the time of the Prophet of Allah, we had broken the fast, we took the food, and it was cloudy. ثم ظهرت الشمس. Then the sun came out. So that means they had eaten before the sun had set. Where is the proof for this? Or from this? That the Prophet did not command them to repeat that day. So they made a wrong, they didn't have the knowledge, they were ignorant regarding the time. At the time of Umar al-Khattab, same thing that happened. When they've seen the sun had set, they thought it was set. They started eating. And then the sun had appeared. Umar al-Khattab said, we did not do anything wrong. The day was valid. This is the knowledge of the time. So if somebody had woken up, looked at his clock, and he says, let's say 2 o'clock, he thinks that mashallah, he's got time, he drank some water, okay, and then he slept. Then he woke up about 4 o'clock, and he saw almost Dhuhr time. What's happening? And he looked at the clock, it's actually 2 hours back. So when it was 2 o'clock, he was what? Which is well after Fajr. So when he woke up 4 o'clock, it was 6 o'clock. Did he break his fast? No, because he didn't know the time. He thought it was 2 o'clock. But if he knows his clock goes back, I'll take a chance. No, you can't take a chance. Straight away. So we say this is called the ignorance of the time. Now we come to the second condition. Remembrance. The opposite of remembrance, forgetting. You forgot. إنما أطعمه الله وسقاه. Allah says, رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا وَأَخْطَأْنَا. Oh Lord, do not take us on account for what we make as a mistake out of ignorance. Out of ignorance is the ignorance. And in nasina. Nasina, if we ignorant or if we forget. If we didn't have knowledge or we didn't remember. So this person is eating, drinking, even intercoursing. Even our Shaykh mentioned, very difficult to forget while you are fasting that, when you intercourse. But we say that it is if you forgot, because usually it is the case, there's 2 people here involved. Man and a woman. The woman should remind him, you're fasting, Ramadan. But let's say, both of them forgot. And that's very unlikely, but it does happen. If they forgot, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given the food and the drink to the person who had forgotten, especially the first day, maybe some of you are taking breakfast. And then remembered, oh, fasting, Allah is giving you the food, and give you the drink. Person made an intercourse with his wife. Oh, I'm fasting, Allah is giving you the intercourse. That's all of it, will not break the fast. This person is drinking water and he's forgetting then the last drop in that cup. He remembered, oh, fasting. Well, I drank most of the cup, let me, might as well. That little drop. Did he break his fast? Yes. Which one dropped his fast? That little drop. If he stopped from that drop, he went fasting, okay. So we know that forgetting, also lots of it. Now, when the person sees somebody, even though he is 100% that he's fasting, and maybe very likely he forgot, if you saw him about to eat or drink, stop him. And the response from the other side should say, Jazakallah. Don't you ever think, oh, let him, because Allah is giving him the food and the drink. And it's not right as well if you reminded the brother, he says to you, brother, why did you remind me? Allah is giving me the food and the drink. No, Jazakallah. I don't know. Third condition. Well, before I go to the second, I want to implement the first and the second condition. Remember, this person who is deliberate vomit. Remember what the deliberate vomit? Okay. Took the one out. A person, he had eaten some food. Some on his mouth, and some gone beyond his throat. Yet to go to his stomach. Remember, he's fasting. He should know what? Take the food and stop out of his mouth. What about the one which is beyond the throat? What? You should vomit it or should swallow it? So if you swallow it, so what about if you vomited it? So if you vomited what? It brings fast. Okay. You understand that? Third condition, consent. What is consent? You haven't got somebody on you going to kill you if you don't really break your fast. Okay, I'll break my fast, man, you don't kill me. I'll eat. If he's gone, I'm fasting. I'm under the threat. So, إلا من أكره وقلبه مطمئن بالإيمان ولكن ما تعمدت قلوبكم. Allah, He says, the one who is being compelled, yet his iman is filling up his heart. This is for Ammar ibn Yasir, when he started to swear against the Prophet of Allah in order to save himself. So Allah revealed for him a verse. Don't worry, because he want to save himself. He swore against the Prophet. And even the Prophet told him, if they want to torture you back again, go back to swear back at me. No problem. Because your heart is full of iman. But what Allah Azza wa Jal, ليس عليكم جناح فيما أخطأتم به ولكن ما تعمدت قلوبكم, is the one which is the one who deliberate, is consent. This leads us to the fourth condition, which is deliberate. Deliberate is different from remembrance, is different from the consent. Consent, as I said, the opposite of it, forced. Deliberate, the opposite of it is mistake. What is a mistake? What is the difference between mistake and remembrance? Person is making wudu. He's putting the water in his mouth. While he's rinsing his mouth, he forgot that he's fasting. So he said, let me swallow some of that water. Did he break his fast? No, because he forgot. This person, he remembers he's fasting. He's rinsing his mouth, but somehow, by mistake, some of the water went inside. Did he break his fast? No, because the last condition, which is what? Deliberate. It's out of mistake. So that's the difference between mistake and between forgetting. The difference between deliberate and the difference between remembrance. Do you understand that? So this person, out of mistake, did not deliberate. But if the person deliberately does something that the Prophet told him not to do, and it will take you to that thing which is going to break the fast, then you will be breaking the fast. Prophet said, don't exaggerate, don't move the water in your mouth vigorously, don't inhale the water vigorously. That means don't put the water in your nostrils, inhale it, and start gargling so much while you're fasting. You do it while you're not fasting. No problem. When you're not fasting, do as much as you can. But when you're fasting, don't do it, because you might what? Swallow the water. So, if you've been knowing this fact, and yet you started rinsing your mouth by doing like that, and the water comes in, you broke your fast. Because you deliberately did that. And that gives us the answer for two questions. Question number one, person going to the dentist. He's got an appointment while he was fasting. In Ramadan. We know for a fact we can't tell him choose another time, because there's no surgery would open for you, dentist, at 12 o'clock midnight. No way. So they're always going to be during the day while you're fasting. We say to you, is it essential or non-essential? It's essential. If it's essential, push it away from Ramadan. If it's essential, okay, we'll say to you then, number one, injection in the gum does not break your fast. Injection in the mouth does not break your fast. It's injection. Any injection, any injection will not break your fast, except for the what? The drip. So even steroid injection does not, flu jab, anything. Even in that peak of yours, they put to numb it, no problem. But when you gargle now, because they tell you to gargle when they clean, take your head away from that chair, tilt your head downwards, let the gravity help you, and gargle. But if you gargle while in the chair like this, tilting your head, you might swallow the water. So that's how you go to the dentist. As for the person who's swimming, just like the Prophet said, don't exaggerate in the rinsing of the mouth or water in the nostrils while you're fasting. We say to the person, if there is no need for that swim, don't swim. Because when you swim and you dip and you immerse your head into the water, you're bound to have what? Water coming to your nostrils and going inside and into your mouth. Unless you're going with the oxygen masks and all of that, yes. Otherwise, don't do it. Those are the four conditions we have mentioned regarding fast breakers. And we come now to the following topic, adab al-siyam, which is the etiquettes of fasting. Please read.
The etiquettes of fasting. It is recommended for the fasting person to abide by the following acts. Pre-dawn meal. Anas narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, have a pre-dawn meal, for there is blessing in the pre-dawn meal. This pre-dawn meal can be fulfilled simply by a sip of water. Abdullah ibn Amr narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, have a pre-dawn meal even if it is just be a sip of water. It is also recommended to delay the eating of the pre-dawn meal. Anas narrated from Zayd ibn Thabit, who said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a pre-dawn meal and then he went to the prayer. I, Anas, asked him, what was the time between the call to prayer and the pre-dawn meal? He replied, about time it takes to read 50 verses. If the person hears the call to prayer while his food or drink is already in his hand, he can eat or drink. Abu Hurairah narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if one of you hears the call to prayer while his cup is in his hand, he should not put it down until he is satisfied his need from it.
Right, this is a very important indicator of the fast, which we call it a sahur, sihri meal, pre-dawn meal, which is being recommended by the Prophet ﷺ, and he said the following, that number one, it is ghida'ul mubarak, blessed food, regardless of the food that you're going to have, even if it's water. Number two, angels will invoke forgiveness for you. Number three, it is the distinguishing mark between our fast and the fast of the people of the book. Number four, it is a food that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا تدعوا, don't leave it. Don't leave it. So because of those facts, you know, the sahur is very important. Number five, it's got the intention in it. So once you make the sahur, that's your intention for fasting. And it's required to make the intention, that is the determination for fasting the day for every obligatory fast. Now we know, Prophet of Allah, he did not take sahur himself, because Allah is giving him the food, Allah is giving him the drink. But he told the companions to take the sahur. And this sahur is also important for those who have hard jobs, which they cannot abandon. It's their life sustenance. So they cannot take a day off, because if they do so, then they will lose the support for their family. So they have to do that sort of job, which is a very hard job. Let's say they are baking breads in front of the oven, like in our countries. In that case, if that person, he does that job and he has got no alternative, we cannot say to him, you could break the fast like that. No, we say to him, take your sahur. And then during the day while you're working, if you feel that you're going to be falling unconscious, you're going to lose your bearings, you're about to collapse, then we say to you, break your fast, and then we will categorize that person just like we categorize the old man and the old woman and the one who's got chronic illness, and he will pay a fidya for each day he breaks the fast. Why we say that he does not compensate by making up another day? Because he's not no option. He's got the job, 24 hours, 7/24. Because of the 7/24, he's got no alternative. Just like in our country, we have the people who are in prison with a'mal shaqqa. It's a long time ago. A'mal shaqqa means hard labor. Hard labor prison. Yeah, a'mal shaqqa. Yeah, I don't think you have it here. No a'mal shaqqa. Hard labor is not hard labor. Hard labor, well, they be demoted from 5-star to 1-star. They take it from PlayStation to Xbox. That's it. Hard labor. Nothing else.
Yes, in the building.
Huh?
In the building, bina.
The building?
Yeah, in the building. Sterren voor bina.
Yes, the hard labor in our country. They will start, hard labor from the morning. But usually the Muslim countries, they will tolerate in Ramadan, they will let them not to do hard labor. But let's say he hasn't got the option, and that person as well will pay fidya, he doesn't have to fast or make up for that fast. Sahur to be delayed. Look how much we delayed. The Prophet ﷺ, he said to us, if one of you has heard the adhan for the real fajr, the true dawn, on the day when he fasts, and yet the pot in his hand, then let him not to put it down. Come on, not to put it down. until he fulfills what he needs from it. That shows you how late you are, but it does not tell me that it is from the sunnah that is to keep holding upon before the adhan of the Fajr. So when the adhan takes place, I'll start to drink it. Let's tell the people Rasul by that. That's been looted and people doing like this. No, this is not, it's not a sunnah. This is person's eating, being pushed, and then while he was eating, then the adhan came on. It's not deliberately he's waiting for the adhan. It's not right. You don't deliberately, it's not a sunnah. Brother, it's a sunnah to hold the cup in your hand, so that then when it's called for the Fajr, then I will start, to drink from it. That's not right. You start just before the sahur, you finish before the adhan. That's how you start. Let's say the adhan went on and you are on the cup. So if you finish your food in satisfaction, don't wait until the adhan comes in and have another food. You finish. And when it is the adhan on and the food is in your hand, the cup in your hand, it doesn't mean in your hand. It could be on the floor. It means finish up what you've got. But not, dear wife, make me another omelette. It doesn't work like that. Cook me another carrot. It's not like that. Whatever you got, there, take it to satisfy yourself. That's called the delaying of the sahur. And from the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah, that is, Inna ma'shar al-anbiya, umirna, we are the prophets, we are commanded to hasten the breaking of the fast and to delay the sahur meal. Hasten the breaking of the fast, we'll come to it inshallah in a minute. Number 2.
Number 2, refraining from vain speech, foul language, and other acts that do not befit the fast. Abu Hurairah narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, if it is a day in which one of you is fasting, he should avoid sexual relations and cruelty. If anyone wants to pick a fight with him, he should say, I am fasting. He also narrated that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, for whoever does not give up false speech and acted by it, Allah has no need for him to leave his food and drink.
Well, it is not from the etiquette, it's from the compulsory acts of fast, because all the fast is all about the spiritual breakers. So if the person does not abstain from the foul language and the haram acts, what's the point of him abstaining from food and drink and lust? What is the point? Where is the benefit of it? And that's why I say that your fast becomes then physical, not spiritual. What is the fast of the physical? The physical fast is linked to your body part, whereas the spiritual one is linked to your spirit, your ruh, the thing which is not you, the invisible part of you, the one that departs you when you die. You know when you die, that thing departs you, that's called a ruh. So this is the ruh. If it does not get the benefit of that physical body part fast, then you're not gaining the proper fast. You're not gaining what Allah wants you from this fast. And in the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you that link to that soul. If you did not have that connection, you lost. Allah, He locks up the gates of hellfire, opens the gates of paradise. Do you see the gates of hellfire locked? Do you see the gates of paradise open? No, you don't. Then He says, and the caller will call, O seeker of good, come forth, and O seeker of evil, go back. Do you hear that call? You don't hear that call. O seeker of good, this is your time. O seeker of evil, it's not your time. Do you feel that? Do you hear it? But the person who makes the connection would feel that. Because He's speaking a lot to your body, which is the spiritual part of your body, not the materialistic one. He's linking to that. That is why when the person reads the Quran, Ramadan, he feels more appetite than outside Ramadan. That's the link. We are sitting now, studying the Book of Allah, Sunnah of the Prophet of Allah, around us who are angels. You feel the angel on your shoulder? No, you don't. But there are angels, isn't it? We don't see them, we don't smell them, we can't touch them. How do we feel them? What is the point of the angels coming to us? We don't want the angels coming. What is the point of angels coming here? What is the benefit? The same thing, what is the benefit of gates of paradise open? That's the benefit. Your spirit gets that. Your spirit makes a connection. from those angels who are now with us. They are present with us because we're studying the book of Allah. They are with us. We don't see them. So, what is the point of a person who is abstaining from the food and the drink, yet he does not abstain from haram? Prophet of Allah said, لَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَ. Allah does not need your fast. Does not need for you to go and abstain from food and drink. لَيْسَ الصِّيَامُ مِنَ الْأَكْلِ وَالشَّرَابِ. Fasting is not merely stopping from food and drink and sexual intercourse. But the fast is from the haram, lahu, rafath, all that type of obscenity. And then emphasis, فَإِنْ سَابَكَ أَحَدٌ أَوْ قَاتَلَكَ فَقُلْ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ. If somebody to insult you, don't insult him back. Don't scratch your fast. Say I'm fasting. Say I'm fasting. That's what it is. So this is the spiritual, you could say, gain from the fast, from the month of Ramadan. All of it is about what? That spiritual breakers. Do not, brother, scratch your fast. Hold yourself. This is the month of what? Patience. It teaches you what? To be what? Patient. Very patient. So, don't lose the plot because you're hungry. At the end of the day, start getting really angry. No, you should be going more calm. That's a session for training for you, inshallah. Third one.
Number 3, generosity and studying the Quran. Ibn Abbas said, the Prophet ﷺ was most generous of the people in doing well. He was most generous during Ramadan, when he would meet with the angel Jibreel alayhi salam. Jibreel alayhi salam would meet with him every night during Ramadan until the month finished. The Prophet ﷺ would recite the Quran with him. He would meet Jibreel alayhi salam. He was more generous in doing good than a beneficial fast wind.
Right, any type of good deeds is recommended in the month of Ramadan. One of them is to be generous in giving charity, giving zakah, and also studying the Quran. Again, subhanallah, when we talk about the fast and Ramadan, Prophet ﷺ, he said, Allah said, all the acts of the son of Adam are to be for him, except for what? Fasting. It is for what? For me. What does that mean, it is for me? Isn't it the prayer for Allah? Isn't it the charities for Allah? Isn't it the hajj is for Allah? Why is siyam is for me? Allah says, all of it, this is for me. The hadith also be mentioned to give the dimensions of the word for me. What does it mean? Number 1, for me it means that all the acts they receive multiples which you understand it mathematically, which is 10 times up to 700 times. You understand? You could calculate 700 times. Mathematically is being calculated. Fast is for me and I recompense it. You don't know how much. I can't tell you. It's not because it is something which is hidden. Makes it more for you to strive. Imagine you are working in a company and you are the best worker. And the boss or the owner of the company says, all of you will receive such and such salary. Well known. As for you, because you're a good person, your salary is with me. You yourself, you want to know how much. The workers are going to come to you. What do you do? How much does he give you? I don't know. Tell us please, how much are you going to give you? SubhanAllah. That's in a company. You are in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, I will give you something that nobody knows. Nothing to do with 7 times, 10 times, 100 times, 700 times. No. Second dimension. The fast in itself is protected on the day of resurrection because it's for me. Say that you have wronged somebody. On the day of resurrection he comes. Give me from your hasanat. You take from everything except for the one. Fast. Protected from me. Take from his salah, take from his zakah, take from his hajj. You haven't got anything except for the siyam. Or drop some sins on him, but the siyam is for me. Third dimension. The siyam comes with a package of sincerity. the Sa'im is sincere. You know, I don't know if you've been outside or maybe in the toilet, drank some water. Nobody knows. Do you know that I'm fasting? You don't know I'm fasting or not. But if I'm praying, you'll see me praying, true or not? If I'm making Hajj, you'll see me making Hajj. If I'm paying charity, you'll see me paying charity. Even I'm going to hide, but I'm not going to hide from the person I'm giving the money. I'm hiding everybody, but I'm giving one person. But the fast, nobody knows. In any sort of ibadah, think about it, in any sort of ibadah, you could beautify. You could beautify your ibadah and make what? Riyah, showing off. Tell me, how can you make showing off in the Salah? In the Salah, for example, the person praying at home, very fast. As soon as somebody is watching him, Allahu Akbar. Turn up. Now tell me how you're going to beautify your fast. You tell me, think about it. Something you never thought about. Yeah. You're fasting now, at home, where nobody can see you, and you're fasting in front of people. How can you change your fast? Can you? You're going to go to oh, look at me, brother. I'm dying. You'll see you break the fast. The fast, sincere. When you fast is sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot beautify your fast. Any other ibadah could beautify it. Zakah, charity, £50, £100, for the sake showing off. But fast is a fast. You cannot beautify it. Person who's fasting is between him and his Lord, subhanAllah. That's why it's for Allah. And also the fast, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He locks up for you the whims and desires. Because for Allah azza wa jalla. The fifth dimension, it intercedes. The fast intercedes. Just like the Quran. Both are for Allah. Both will stand up before the Lord. O Lord, I prevented him the food and the drink and the shahwa, the lust, accepted my intercession. His intercession will be accepted. Quran, O Lord, I prevented him from the sleep and the night. He's been reciting me. Accept my intercession. Both intercession will be accepted. That's why it is for me. When a companion asked the Prophet of Allah, Dullani ala amal al jannah. Don't form your manat. Put me in paradise, Messenger of Allah. Hadith Abi Umam al-Bahili. He said, عليك بالصوم لا مثل له. Go to fasting. It's the best. Fasting. But remember, the fast is to please Allah, but the fast for the dieting is something else. Fast for the cure is something else. To please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 4.
Number 4, hastening in breaking the fast. Sahal ibn Sa'ad narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the people will continue to be in a state of goodness as long as they hasten in breaking their fast.
Right, so we know that hastening the breaking of the fast is from the etiquette, from the recommended things to hasten the breaking of the fast. Companions, they used to hasten so much. Look at the Prophet of Allah. Abdullah ibn Abi Awfa, radiallahu anhu, he says that we were with the Messenger of Allah in a journey. And the sun just had set. Prophet of Allah is saying, Bilal, come down and make us food. Prophet. So he said, Messenger of Allah, Inna alayka nahar. The day is still there, because you can see the light. Make us food. Messenger of Allah, Shams. Make us food. Messenger of Allah, law amsayt. You just push it to the night a bit. He said, make us food. So he made him food. Prophet Allah had eaten, companions had eaten. Bilal said, if one of us by Allah to stand up on top of his camel to watch the sun, he would have seen the sun. But of course he will not see the sun, but he says that how close it was. From the sun just set away, he had broken his fast. Then the Prophet of Allah said, إِذَا أَقْبَلَ اللَّيْلُ أَدْبَرَ النَّهَارُ مِنْ هَاهُنَا. He pointed to the west where the sun sets. If the daylight goes from here, وَأَقْبَلَ اللَّيْلُ مِنْ هَاهُنَا, and the night comes from the other side, وَغَرَبَ قُرْصُ الشَّمْسِ, and the disk of the sun disappear, then the person may break his fast. So if the sun was hiding behind a tree or a building, yes, the daylight may go from his side, but the night will not appear from the other side. It's only when it sets. You'll find a patch of darkness on the other side. You need to practice this. Find a patch. Straight away. So when the sun disk goes down, straight away the day goes and the night will appear. That's how fast they work. And in terms of the sahur, they delay it so much. Abdullah ibn Umar used to have two servants of his looking for the fajr. One would say, the fajr is on. And the other would say, no, it's not on. He's still eating, Abdullah ibn Umar. Until both of them say what? It's on. So we كل ما شككت حتى لا تشك. Eat as long as you are in doubt the fajr is not on, until you are 100% the fajr is on. Yesterday, I did not pray the Jama'ah because I've been watching the fajr for the last more than 3 weeks now. The dawn. And it was, according to our timetable, 3:07. The dawn. What time is it dawn here? 3:10. I was not worried about the fast because we're stopping before the Fajr, no problem. I'm worried about the prayer because they add only 15 minutes. 15 minutes is not enough. If you're not knowing what is the Fajr, you need to make it more than 15 minutes, half an hour. 15 minutes is not enough to save your prayer. For verily, first day was only about 17 minutes, and I thought there is about more than 25 minutes between our Fajr and the time of the real Fajr. When I watched it, I told the Imam, we're going to be waiting for 18 minutes, but we need another 25 minutes. Now, the timetable has been set already. So what's the plan? Delay yourself in the wudu. So show yourself, go to the wudu, people will wait. And we reverse the clock, the digital clock in the front, we put it 2 minutes late. You understand me? Instead of saying, let's say 3, it was actually 2 minutes 58 to add minutes to the. Otherwise, the people, as soon as they start, stand up. Even there's no Imam, the Imam is the clock. The clock is the Imam. They stand up. They don't care. And if there's no Imam, come on, read the prayer, brother. But there, read the prayer, brother. SubhanAllah. Loose country, loose leadership. Yesterday I was looking at the Fajr. And I was eating. And I eating. After 3:07, 3:15, 3:20. I was eating, drinking, I'm looking at the Fajr in front of me. Clear skies, MashaAllah. When it was about 3:30, I saw the Fajr. Then I left, but I couldn't catch up with the prayer. It was too far. I was far away. Do you understand that now? You have to be careful for your salah. Push your salah. What time is your salah here? 3:30. Yeah. Well, don't make it earlier than that. 3:30. The salah. The Fajr is no problem with the people. The people, Fajr is safe for them for fasting. No problem for the fasting. Because you are abstaining from the food well before the Fajr. So what are you going to say about these masajid at 1:50, 2 o'clock in the morning? Have you seen it? 2 o'clock in the morning. The Fajr in the masjid that we are in High Wycombe belongs to Darbandi people. At the end of Ramadan, I was looking at the timetable, 1:15. It's here, you could Google it. 1:15, wallahi. What type of Fajr is this? What type of Fajr these people did? 1:15, and then the prayer is 1:45. 1:45 is the prayer. But after Ramadan, 4:30, you know that. Game, it's a game, they're playing a game. 4:30. So why don't you just say 4:30 for the prayer? We say that, مَا يَطْلُبُهُ الْمُسْتَمِعُ. What the people want, we'll give them. This is a program in the TV or the radio. The well-known program. What the people like. So you want to hear a song, such and such song, they give you that song. So these people want to pray at 4:15, 4:30, no problem. 1:45, 1:40. As long as we don't lose customers. Because customers pay money. They're the people who pray, they don't pray in our masjid. We've had it. And there will be no I'm not joking, Ahi. Wallah, it's not joke. These are money generators. So, now these days we're having, sale. Sale? Taraweeh sale. Wallahi, Taraweeh sale. Look, short Taraweeh. With Shaykh Saqib Iqbal. Daily. 10:45 to 11:15. Half an hour. MashaAllah. In Birmingham. That's the addresses you want. Sale. Taraweeh sale. Wallah. It's a sale, ikhwan. It's not a joke, listen. Short Taraweeh. Don't take their address and you go there and maybe need a bid'ah. Yeah, then it becomes now sale. We're selling cucumber. Tomatoes. Cheaper with us, cucumber, tomatoes. Why? Because when the people go there was waba. Money. Lots of money. They give donations. That's what it is. Who can bring the most customers? So these guys, if they don't make the prayer early, they're going to come to us. No, we'll make it 1:45. We don't even have passport. Allah al-Musta'an, what type of deen is becoming now? The shortest prayers, I have seen it, is this one. That's the shortest prayer. I've seen lots of short prayers, but this is now the one that got the top rank. Allah al-Musta'an. Top rank. Okay. Let's see. There it is. Brothers, I advise nobody to go to the gym. Go to this masjid. Wallahi, faster than the gym. Allah al-Musta'an. It's too fast. I try to do like him, Of course it's not, it's playing, it's not praying. So there is tanzilat, we call it in Arabic. Sale. Taraweeh sale. We're going to make you shorter now. The fifth one, the sixth one, go ahead.
Number 5, breaking the fast with what is mentioned in the hadith, if it is easy to do so. Anas said that Prophet ﷺ would break his fast with ripe dates before praying. If not ripe dates, he would break his fast with dried dates. If that were not available, he would drink some water.
Of course, the dates are not to be taken in odd numbers people think. The odd number is only for the Eid al-Fitr. As for these dates, take them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, don't count. And you start with the dates, doesn't mean that you just stick to the dates. You could eat with the dates as well, after the dates, with the dates, samosas, makoras, whatever. Zalabi. Ruh Afza.
No, that's not.
All Pakistani food, I know it. I need to get used to the ginger, Zanzibari food. Number 6 and last.
Number 6, making the supplications stated in the following hadith above, breaking one's fast.
ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. Meaning,
the thirst has gone, the veins have become moist, and the reward is confirmed, Allah willing.
If you have any questions, you've got 10 minutes inshallah, and before you do the adhan, please, I know that your prayer is 5:30, I need to pray. I need to leave, sorry. So please, for the next 10-15 minutes, give your answers, the questions. Sisters with questions, please go ahead by sending a piece of paper. Now. Nah.
Should you miss the, like for example, if the machine is quite close to you, and you see it, and you're eating, but then that goes off, and the Jamaat is going to start next 10 minutes, but still continuing. You can see it's not, Fajr is not kicked in. What should we do? Should we keep continuing eating?
The person is asking, I could see the Fajr and there's a masjid and the Fajr is not on and the people are praying. Can I continue eating or shall I go to the Jama'ah? Continue eating. But if you finish your eating, you don't need to eat, then you go to the Jama'ah, pray with them and then pray again at home. Okay? Pray with the Jama'ah. The Jama'ah is very important. But because you know that the Fajr is not on, you repeat your prayer at home. Okay? Now.
The ejaculation you mentioned, there are other evidences that support that if you ejaculate just break your fast. What are those evidences? You mentioned something.
You mean the evidence of the side? Well, I would delay this because maybe it is not the topic that we should be exploiting upon. But the main two proofs that the Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen brings is a proof combined between two hadiths. From the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, which both are authentic. The first hadith, which is the hadith I mentioned, when the Prophet of Allah said, Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Almighty says, all the acts of the son of Adam is to be for him, except for fasting, as it is for me, another recompense for it. He leaves off his food for the sake of me, his drink for the sake of me, and then he said his lust, shahwa, the lust, for me. The word shahwa here, it means shahwa, lust. So he says this lust, okay, we can find it in another hadith, which is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when he said regarding these companions who came to him, Messenger of Allah, ذهب أهل الدثور بالأجور. The ones who are rich had taken the rewards because they pray like we pray, they fast like we fast, but they've got money to give charity, but we can't. So they have taken the reward, we didn't take it. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said to them, don't you know that Allah has given you charity? Every tasbihah, subhanAllah, charity. Every takbirah, tahmeedah, charity. He gave me charity as well. He said, even if you are intercoursing with your wife, حتى لو it will, there's a sadaqah in it, charity. He said, Messenger of Allah, one of us comes to his lust shahwa, and yet he's got a reward. That means they think that the reward has to be done by something which you don't like to do, like pray and something that you don't really feel. But this is something you love, which is intercourse. Yet I'm going to be rewarded with that. He said, "Very أرأيت لو أنه وضعها." What about if he had put it? Put it refers to the what? To the lust. And here the Shaykh said, put it refers to what? To the what? To the sperms. Put it fi haram, into haram. Don't you think it's going to be sin? They said, yes, Messenger of Allah. He said, then if he puts it in, which is the sperm, in halal, then he will be what? Will be wrong. It's an analogy. Yes. That hadith in itself talks about the lust, and you making it for the sperms. I'm asking now. So you're saying that the lust here, not which we believe it is the intercourse, you believe it is the lust, shahwa. But the akhwan, shahwa is general word. You kiss, it's a lust. You hug, it's a lust. So which lust is talking about that Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Prophet? It's the intercourse. If you're going to make the lust and everything, so why did you put the ejaculation as the lust which is not allowed as well? The sperm. Yet you did not put the lust which is the normal lust which comes with the kiss. why you are excluding this from that? There's no proof. So if the ejaculation was as fast break, it will become as clear as intercourse, it will become as clear as deliberative vomit, it will become as clear as the food and the drink and the drip. It will not be like vague like this. It will be clear cut. Would we have on the other side, Sa'd Waqas looked at his wife and he had ejaculated. But those scholars who say that, they said that this ejaculation will not bring the fast break. Why? Because it's not deliberate. No, it's deliberate when you looked at her. And he knows when he looks at her, it's going to be what? Ejaculating. Well, those people are men, not like us, not men. They're men. So he looked at her and ejaculated. So he said, no, it's not deliberate. Because they say that for this ejaculation to break the fast, have to fulfill the following condition. Number one, sperm. That means if there's no sperm coming out, there's just nothing happened, shake or something, then there will be no break in the fast. Number two, it has to be when the fast is obligatory upon you. If it's voluntary fast, no problem, nothing. Number three, it has to be with lust. So ejaculation because of cold weather, cold disease, it does not take place. Number four, this ejaculation is with the intention, بفعل الصائم, with the action, intention of the person who is ejaculating. So if you looked at the wife and happened, no problem. But if you did it deliberately to, whatever, and then ejaculated, that will break the fast. Anyway, they put some sort of rules upon them that if you want to investigate a bit deeper, you will say that these rules will work against them as well. So we say it is a weak argument. But we don't go as making it halal like other scholars like Imam al-Shawkani in his book Bulugh al-Muna في حكم الاستمناء, where you go no further than the book of Sheikh, this book with the elaboration of Sheikh Mashhur, where he discussed that in details, mashallah. Right, any other questions? You got 5 minutes. Sister, got no questions? Right. Somebody who's smoking cigarettes, does it break his fast? It's air here, it's not air. No? Huh? The particles going inside. So what about you smoking? Broke your fast. What about me? I'm not smoking, but I'm next to you. So it breaks your fast or not? Why? Huh? I don't have the intention. So, but I'm smoking it already, but I don't have the intention to smoke it. And incense. In the incense, bukhur, incense. Bukhur. You come to the house. Bukhur. Does it break the fast? Nice. It's smelling in the house. Does it break the fast? No. But if you go to the bukhur itself, where the bukhur incense burner, and then you put yourself into it, start inhaling, that has got what? Particles. Break your fast. Okay? Same thing with the cigarettes. If you're a smoker yourself, but you smoke, you're fasting. Other people are not fasting. So you start going to the smoker. Come on, brother. Blow on to me. You'll break your fast. Right. Father.
Parents who bring their child to the masjid as well. The child, they bring the child next to them. The child is praying.
This child is what? In brain?
He's not praying.
Praying. Yeah.
Next to them.
If any person brings his child where he doesn't know anything about wudu or prayer, should not put him between him and his next person who is praying next to him. You cannot separate. You can put him in front of you, put him on the side, between you and the wall, but not between you and that person who prays next to you. Can't. Make a separation. So for the sister, they should know that. For the brother, they should know that. So the boy that could really pray with us is the one who knows that if he passes wind, he is to be making wudu. But to have children, they don't know anything. They've got even their nappies on. And they're in the urine as well, and the poo and all of that. They're praying between me and another person. It's a separation. It's not allowed. نعم. طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك.
What's the
Okay, I have the